Hi guys, it's Matthew here, and welcome on into another tier list ranking, as a matter of fact. So, today's video is another Marvel MCU tier list, but this time I'm not ranking every single MCU movie. I am going to be doing a tier list just for the movies that were included in the Infinity Saga, and we are going to be going through these and release date order. So we only have everything ranging from the first Iron Man all the way to Avengers Endgame is what we have for this video, as a matter of fact, guys, and I'm really excited to do this, as a matter of fact. And be sure to share your ranking of the Infinity Saga down below in the comment section, guys. My list is not the right list, and please take into account that these are just my opinions, and if you think if you disagree with them, that is okay. Go enjoy it. More power to you. I don't want to take that away from you. It's just not a Marvel MCU movie that I particularly enjoy, as a matter of fact. So yes, guys, with all that out of the way, guys, be sure you click like on this video and also hit that red subscribe button, but most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And those of you guys that are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also play video games and I do Lego related stuff. So if you guys like to watch anything like that on YouTube and want to show your love and support, be sure to go check out my channel, because there will definitely be something in there for you to enjoy, as a matter of fact, guys. But with all that out of the way, guys, let's get started, as a matter of fact. So the tiers I have are best of the best, great, good, okay, meh, and bad. And okay, so we are going to start this tier list off with Iron Man, because that was the first because that was the why does this camera always get so blurry? I apologize for the focus, guys, but we're just gonna have to live with it for now, as a matter of fact. I don't know why it always does that. So we're starting things off with the first Iron Man, and the first Iron Man is an easy, great tier movie. I know for some of you guys, you still think it's a top 5 MCU movie, but for me, it's never been like one of my personal favorites in the MCU. But that doesn't automatically not mean it's not a great movie, nonetheless. But I still think it's great. I think Iron Man is one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic Avenger ever. But he's definitely not like my favorite Marvel superhero, but he is definitely the most iconic one, as a matter of fact. So yeah, he is. So the first Iron Man is a great movie, in my personal opinion. So next up on the list, we have the Incredible Hulk. So now I know there's fans of this movie, but I know some people like this movie, but almost everybody that I've heard from, and the reviews and rankings that I have seen on YouTube, they actually have this closer to the bottom of their list. And and personally, when it comes to my ranking of the entire MCU, not just the Infinity Saga, this is by far my least favorite of the MCU movies. So I'm sorry for all of you Incredible Hulk fans, but this one is going on the bad tier for me. I have never been a fan of this movie. I actually think the story is lackluster on this movie. The whole entirety of this movie isn't very good, in my opinion. So in my personal opinion, the Hulk didn't really have like a whole movie's worth of like origin story to tell. And so he didn't have like a whole movie's worth of like origin story to tell. So in my personal opinion, the story lacks because of that. And in my opinion, it would have been better off if they introduced him in the first Avengers and then they told us his backstory from there. Because like I said, I feel like he didn't have a whole movie's worth of story to tell. And that's basically what they did with Hawkeye in the first Avengers. Like he didn't really have like a whole movie's worth of story to tell, and they introduced him in the first Avengers and told us his backstory from there. And I feel like the same thing should have been done with the Hulk, in my personal opinion. All right, next up on our list, we have Iron Man 2. It's definitely never been as bad, never been as like near as the first one, but I kind of been a little bit of a defender of this movie I've because this is one that some people didn't like, and but I've heard some people have been a defender of this movie, but personally, it's definitely not the best movie in the MCU, but I've always thought it was good. I mean, because this is the first time we ever seen like War Machine, and when him and Iron Man first met, and this was actually the first time we ever saw Black Widow, as a matter of fact. So yeah, this is the first time we ever saw Black Widow, and this is when we got introduced to War Machine. So, and I like the action sequences in this movie, but like I said, it's not quite as good as the first one, but it's still a good movie, nonetheless, in my opinion. Next up on our list, we have Thor. So now, if you guys have followed me for any determined amount of time, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Thor, and this movie is going straight up in best of the best. Like I know some people aren't as big on the Thor movies, but personally, I enjoy the Thor movies for what they deliver, as a matter of fact. Another controversial take that I have is that I actually think Thor Love and Thunder is the third best MCU movie. I know nobody has put Thor Love and Thunder that high on their list, but personally, it's always been that high on my list, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I get it. I mean, it's not yet, but yeah, I've enjoyed all the Thor movies that they have put out, actually, and they're not quite as and they're good, as a matter of fact. I think all of them are good, as a matter of fact, but I don't want to give any spoilers for this list, as a matter of fact. All right. Next up on our list, we have Captain America: The First Avenger. So now this one I am actually due for a rewatch on, because this I'm only going to stick this one on the okay tier, because and my reasoning because of that is that when I first watched the first Captain America movie, I am a Captain America and a Thor fan, but with this movie, I actually found it a little slow the first time I watch it. So if I have a feeling if I watch this movie again, I would probably like get it more, and it would like move high on my radar and move higher up on my list. But yeah, I actually think the first Captain America is an okay movie, but maybe when I rewatch it and the next time I do an MCU tier list of any sort, it will at least move up to the good tier because I like the story of it, but again, it's a little slow for me actually. Now we finally get to our first Avengers, as a matter of fact. Where is the first Avengers on this list? Is it down here? It is down here. So, the first Avengers, I'm not so sure if I want to put it in like best to the best or on the great tier. I think I'm gonna stick it on the great tier, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I enjoy the first Avengers for what it delivered, and yes, this is a great movie. This is the first time that we ever get to see these characters team up. These these movies are also pretty good. And these movies and all of the Avengers movies get better as they progress. There's no denying that here. All of these movies get better as they progress, and they're great movies nonetheless. And even the first Avengers, but we will get to the other Avengers movies later. But yes, the first Avengers has always been an easy great tier for me. Next up on our list, we have Iron Man 3. So now with this movie, it's definitely the weakest of the Iron Man movies, but I'm still gonna put it right beside the second one in on the good tier though. This one I definitely think has like a lot of really good action sequences compared to the first two Iron Mans, but it's definitely by far the weakest Iron Man. I know some people they're I know a lot of you people say the first Iron Man is great, but and some of you guys even say that the and some of you guys even say the first two the excuse me guys, I'm stuttering right now. I know a lot of you guys say the first Iron Man is like a top tier MCU movie, and then it's always an argument, is Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3 the worst? Personally, I would say Iron Man 2 is better, but neither one of them are near the first one. I will agree with that, but yeah, I like these two because of the action sequences that they have. And yes, I really do enjoy Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2, but again, they're nowhere near the first one in my opinion. Next up, we have we just did Iron Man 3, so now we are on Thor: The Dark World. So now this is gonna be another wildly controversial opinion because I know several of you guys really don't like this movie, and I've always been in the minority when it comes to this movie, but this movie is an easy great tier for me. Like I said, I am a big Thor fan. I have enjoyed all the Thor movies, even Thor: The Dark World. And this movie, yes, this is another movie that I think is way overhated. And like I said, Thor is my absolute favorite Marvel superhero, as a matter of fact, alongside Captain America. And you guys all know that I do love Thor: Love and Thunder, but that's not on this list, sadly, because it's not an Infinity Saga movie. And every time that I do a video with like top tens or whatever, you guys always see my Thor Love and Thunder poster in the background. And yes, I enjoy Thor Love and Thunder, and all these Thor movies are great, and I definitely want to watch all these again. Next up on our list, we have Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's definitely a lot better than the first Captain America. Like I said, I need to watch the first Captain America again to see if my thoughts have changed on that one. But but yeah, I'm not so sure where I want to put the Winter Soldier. It's definitely a great movie, but but I'm not so sure if I what I like it more than. Uh, Screw it. I gotta put it above the first Iron Man. I know a lot of you guys still consider the first Iron Man as like a top 5 MCU movie, but in my personal opinion, it's not even in my top 10 MCU movies because I feel like there has been like several other Marvel movies that have improved on the MCU movie. Like I would say the first Iron Man is still a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of falls into more of like it kind of falls in like the top 20 for me because I really do like the first Iron Man still, but it's never like it's never been like one of my absolute favorite movies in the MCU. So I still think it's a great movie. All right, next up on our list we have the first Guardians of the Galaxy. So now all of the Guardians movies are pretty damn good in my opinion. So I am actually going to stick the first Guardians on the great tier as well. So yes, post the first Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy has been one of the best MCU movies after the first Avengers and before Avengers Infinity War as well. So yeah, I enjoy the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's funny. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy these characters as well. And I'm excited to actually see Star Lord return. I think Star Lord is set to return, but I'm not so sure if the other Guardians are set to return at any point. But Star Lord is for sure set to return though. All right. Next up on our list, we have Avengers Age of Ultron. So now I did say that these movies get better, but those are for like the last two Avengers movies. But Avengers Age of Ultron is another one that I feel like is not a bad movie by any means, but it's still a good movie, but it is the weakest out of both of the Avengers movies. I mean, I think Ultron is a great villain. Ultron is a great villain all the way around. And we get introduced to like Scarlet Witch and and Quicksilver, I think his name is, the guy with the fast speed. And then I feel like we get introduced to like some other characters in here, but I can't think of which ones. But yeah, we have Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury, which which I think is pretty cool as well. And yeah, this is a great movie. This is a good movie all the way around, but again, it's the weakest of the Avengers movies. Next up on our list, we have the first Ant-Man. And the first Ant-Man, this is another one I like truly like need to rewatch. So the first Ant-Man, I'm gonna stick at the back of the good tier because I actually think the first Ant-Man is is the weakest of the three Ant-Man movies because I think it has like some weird spots like I think that part where he like fights Falcon for like stealing something from like the Avengers headquarters or something. I think that part's kind of cool, but it's also kind of a little bit weird at the same time though. So yeah, it's definitely it's a good movie nonetheless, but it does have some weird aspects to it. Captain America Silver War. We finally have another best to the best tier movie. So yes, the Captain America Civil War has always been one of my faves in the MCU because it is an outstanding movie. I like how we get to see like all these characters like come together and fight each other. It's kind of weird that we get to see this, that we get to see them do that. But but regardless, I actually still think this movie is pretty fun, nonetheless. And yeah, we get introduced to oh another character that we get introduced to in Avengers Age of Ultron is Vision, and we even get him in here um seeing one of the Infinity Stones as a matter of fact, which I also do think is pretty cool as well. So yeah, this movie is actually pretty fun in my opinion, and it's definitely by far the best of the Captain America movies, and it's definitely a good movie nonetheless. Next up, we have Doctor Strange. So now this one I actually have to stick on the meh tier because this is not a bad movie by any means, but in my opinion, the first Doctor Strange is a little slow. It doesn't really have like that much entertainment value to me, and it pains me to put Doctor Strange this slow on the list because I really liked what they did with Multiverse of Madness, and I even like every other time that we see him after this movie because I liked his performance in Avengers Infinity War, and same thing in Spider-Man No Way Home. So basically every other MCU project that he's been in, I've liked his appearance and his performance, but nonetheless, this movie doesn't really have like much entertainment value for me, which is bad because which is which is sad because I really do like Doctor Strange. He's another one of my favorite superheroes, but still, this first movie didn't really hold up for me that much at all. So next up on our list, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And a lot of people say this one's not as good as the first one, but I'm still going to put it on the great tier. I'm going to put it right next to the first one, actually, because I still enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I know some people didn't really like it as much as the first one, but personally, I thought it was just as fun as the first one. It's almost as good as the first one, is my opinion. Like the first one is, like the second one is right near the first one, so I put them right next to each other on the tier list because I really like both of these movies. And yeah, both of these movies are a lot of fun actually. And I even want to rewatch these movies. And like I said, I cannot wait to see Star-Lord again because I actually have a good time with all of these movies, in my opinion. All right. Next up on our list, we have Spider Man Homecoming. So now with Spider Man Homecoming, hmm, this has always been a hard one for me, but I am gonna have to stick this one on the good tier. Because I really do like Spider-Man Homecoming. The next two movies after that I think are better. Yes, I think Far From Home is better than Homecoming. But yeah, I enjoy the first Spider-Man for what it delivered. It is definitely a good movie, but like I said, I think the other two I think its two predecessors are better than this movie. So yeah, I definitely think this is a pretty good movie nonetheless, but it's definitely the weakest of the Spider-Man movies in my opinion. All right. Next up on our list, we have Thor Ragnarok. So now, remember what I said? I enjoy all the Thor movies and I didn't want to give any spoilers for this list. That's mainly because Thor Ragnarok is going on the bad tier. So now, I know a lot of you people say this is the best of the Thor movies, and a lot of you people just say forget the other ones. And personally, I give people a middle finger every time they do that because I don't get the hates for all the other Thor movies, and I don't get why people say they're so flawed. But with this movie in particular, I want to agree with you guys that this is a good movie, but unfortunately I can't because what I really don't like about this movie is that it gives you more questions than answers. And what I really don't like is that Hulk is underground for like 2 years and they never really tell you why he was underground for 2 years. And yes, this maybe if I watch this movie again, it will climb higher up on my list, but unfortunately, it's only gonna go at the top of the bad tier. I am sorry, guys, but I have to put it on the bad tier. I am just not a fan of this movie. Next up, we have Black Panther, the first one, and this is another easy best of the best tier for me. So now, I really like the Black Panther. This Black Panther is another one of my favorite superheroes in the MCU. I like the chase scene in this movie. I would say this one probably has like the best action compared to some of the other Marvel movies. And yes, I really do like Black Panther. It's sad that Chadwick Boseman couldn't continue to play this character because he passed away with cancer, and that's a sad, pathetic story. So yeah, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I wish you were still here to play this character, as a matter of fact. Next up, we have Avengers Infinity War, and this is another one that is going straight up in to best of the best. You guys all knew that this was coming. Avengers Infinity War was going straight up into best of the best. A lot of people actually put this one as like their second or first favorite movie in the MCU, and I am not in the minority for this one because this is a great movie nonetheless. It's an awesome movie and it is one of the best superhero movies of all time, but we got two more movies to talk about before we talk about Avengers Endgame. But next up on our list, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. And this is another easy, great tier for me. I'm actually going to stick it right there. I really like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I actually think it's one of the more underrated MCU movies, in my opinion. And yes, this is a very fun movie nonetheless. This has another cool car chase scene that I really like. And I really like Paul Rudd as this character and how we get introduced to like the Wasp and stuff. So yeah, this is definitely a fun movie in my opinion. It's definitely a dumb fun movie in my opinion, but I do think it's a little bit better compared to the first one, as a matter of fact. So next up on our list we have Captain Marvel. So now I'm trying to decide where I want to put this movie. And no, this is not going on the okay, meh, or the bad tier. This is another underrated gem, in my opinion. This movie actually made $1 billion. So with this movie, do I want to put it? Alright, I can put you above Thor the Dark World, but I can't quite put you above the first Iron Man. But yeah, I do not this is another one that I don't understand why it gets so much hate. This movie actually takes place, even though it's in phase 3, it actually takes place all the way back to phase 1 because if you watch the Marvel movies in the order that you're supposed to watch them in, you will know that you're supposed to watch the Captain America the First Avenger first, and then secondly you're supposed to watch the Captain Marvel, and then you're supposed to watch I believe you're supposed to watch the first two Iron Mans next, the first and then the second one, and then you're supposed to watch the Incredible Hulk, and then the first Thor, and then the first Avengers. I believe that's the order before from I believe that's the order that you should watch them in, from the first Avenger to the first Avengers, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I really do like Captain Marvel. I actually think it's a great movie, and it's a very underrated movie, nonetheless. And I like how we get like another introduction for Nick Fury, as a matter of fact. I feel like if this movie was released during phase 1, and if it was included in phase 1, people would probably like this movie more, because it would make more sense, because then she could get more, because then she could have gotten a part in the first and the second Avengers, in my opinion. Alright, so next up we have Avengers Endgame. And I'm not going to waste any more time. Do we have to list off why this movie is at the top of the list? Do we even have to list off why this movie is at the top of the list? it's a great movie. It is a satisfying inclusion to the Infinity Saga. I I don't have this movie on Steelbook, but I definitely need to work on finding a Steelbook for this movie. So yes, this is a great movie nonetheless. It deserves more credit than it gets. And yes, this is a great movie nonetheless. It is by far the best Avengers movie. They brought everybody back, so therefore it is the number one best MCU movie, and it sends off Steve Rogers in a really good way. And we're getting Captain America: Brave New World next, and we're gonna see how Sam Wilson becomes the next Captain America, as a matter of fact. But yeah, guys, that is my tier list of the MCU Infinity Saga. As a matter of fact, after the Multiverse Saga wraps up, I will probably do a tier list for that as well. But because from what I've heard, the Multiverse Saga is set to end. Avengers: Secret Wars is set to end off the Multiverse Saga. So yeah, and that comes out in 2027, so we won't have to wait too long for that movie. And I'm excited to see how the MCU continues after Secret Wars, because they said that will wrap up the Multiverse Saga, but it won't wrap up the MCU quite yet, as a matter of fact. So I'm anxious to see how the MCU continues and how the Multiverse Saga will wrap up, as a matter of fact. So yeah, guys, that pretty much does it for this video. Be sure to click like on this video and also hit that red subscribe button. But most importantly, make sure you press the notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future, as a matter of fact, guys. And again, these are just my opinions. If you disagree with me, that is okay, as a matter of fact. But with that said, though, guys, I'm going to go get ready back to more videos, because more videos are on the way sooner rather than later, as a matter of fact. Have a great day. Be sure you drink water, take care of yourselves, and stay safe. And I will see you all in the very next video. Bye.